Hello vac fans. By viewer request, we've got some Hoover canisters, and specifically the whole house cleaning is going to be using this one. This black one over here. A 2003 Hoover TurboPower 5000. Got the matching hose, and there's the power nozzle. But I wanted to show you all my Hoover canisters. So from left to right, starting over here, got a 1988 Hoover Spirit, and then I've got a 1996 Hoover Encore. This one is not electrified. Then of course this one is a 2003. What's so similar about all of them is that measured at the hose end, with the hose plugged in, they all get about 70 CFM. One gets like 70, another one gets like 72, but they're all pretty much about 70 hose CFM. What's so interesting is I just looked up my spreadsheet, and this one here draws about 8 amps. This one here draws about 8 amps, and this one here draws about 9 amps, and that's without using any power nozzle. Just basically the hose hooked up. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious. So you go from 1988 to 2003, you're talking about several decades, and the only real difference you get is there's more features, and you get a little more current usage. The TurboPower uses one more amp, about 9 amps, and again, not including the power nozzle, what that uses. So we can take a look at some of the features of this guy. Of course, when I get all my vacuums, so it seems they're like a total wreck. So I spent way more money on this thing than I should have, and I even replaced in the motor the front and the rear bearing. So it was an awful lot of work. So let's see, we've got this bare floor tool, hard floor tool, it says right there. And I actually got some new bristles for this. The other ones were pretty worn. You've got this little dusting brush here. And you know what? This was missing the dusting brush. And I found this other one in another vacuum at a thrift store. So I've stored this a little improperly. So it's got a little alfalfa going on right here. I think I can probably fix that. And we've got a crevice tool. You see you've got the little Hoover nubs right there where everything can hook on fairly securely. And then you've got this little like upholstery tool right here, and this one's got some missing teeth in it. But hey, that's the best I could find with this thing. You've got a post-motor filter, and I use that term loosely because it's kind of just jammed in there. This one's got a little bit of wear in it. See, it's a little dark right here. But it does some kind of job, and I think this is the exhaust port right there. You can kind of see into the, well, you know what, it's really, you're seeing into the cord rewind, but that's where it exhausts anyhow. And I have the S-type HEPA bag in there. So this sports a rubber collar for a fairly good seal, and I guess it's a fairly decent bag. It's not bad. And then in here, you've got this pre-motor filter. Here's that right there. This machine here has had a little bit of use, so the bag has a little bit of dirt in it, but it's used so rarely, I don't really change the bag more than, probably something like once a year. So there's a little bit of stuff in there, not a whole lot. It works pretty well. But I think this machine, and you guys who are into these particular type of canisters, you tell me, but I think in 2003, a machine like this would have been a little over $200 for list price. Oh, here's the bag check indicator. Oh, I know. I forgot to tell you one thing. So if you look right here, there is a notch. And on the other side, there is another notch. Let's see if I can, there you go. Now you can see it right there. And that is for airflow relief. Now you can block up these notches, put some packing tape in there, whatever you do to actually seal that notch, and you will increase your airflow and your suction by quite a bit. I mean, you really will. But there's going to be one problem. This machine was never designed for heavy-duty airflow, for better airflow than how it comes, especially with a HEPA bag. So if you block those two little tabs, like I did for a few months, when you go and put the hose on, your bag check indicator can bump out here maybe 10 or even 20% with a totally clean bag, and you not doing anything with it at all, just by literally putting the hose on, and you hear that the machine is starting to howl and protest a little bit. So I removed, for the sake of longevity, I removed that particular modification that I had made on this machine. So bottom line was, I guess if you care about longevity of this particular machine, and I spent so much money on this thing, I don't really want to wear it out anytime soon, so I want it to last. Plus, I think the carbon brushes only had about maybe 25-30% life left on them. And this machine, of course, is long out of production, and it's also difficult to find the parts for it. So I really want to try to make it last, so I don't need to go and have it strain any more than it needs to. Now let me see if I can get a good view of the label here. There you go. So everything has been restored as well as it can be back up to brand new. This cover right here was, of course, cracked. I mean, it's very delicate. The hose is in pretty good shape. It's got a little crack right in there, but it doesn't seem to affect airflow at all. And the hose connection to the body is more or less okay, except for this right here. It is all right. I mean, it's just it's a cut in the outer vinyl jacket. I don't really like it being there, but I'm really careful with it. But maybe a little black tape would, I suppose, make me feel a little better. But it seems to be all right at this point in time. And let's go take a look. By the way, I'm recording this at about 8 o'clock at night, so the sun's gone down. So unfortunately, I've got to use the flash, even with a lot of lights on here. I need a little more light. So this also was a wreck. This is a little see-through gauge for the belt. The funny thing is, since everything's black, it's a little hard to see if the belt breaks because everything inside's black. So there's no contrast, and it's very difficult to see. This does have the light bulb in it. I haven't turned this on in a number of months, so I hope the light bulb still works and hasn't burned out. Bring this down here. I've given the motor a full service, and it's got a new belt. This is the original brush roll as far as I can tell. It definitely has wear and tear, but that's fairly stiff bristles. And they don't appear to be, like, say, well, missing or spread out more than they should be. Everything's in pretty good shape. These little wheels were completely missing, and I had to order a set of them, and the cheapest I could find them was about $10 for a pair. That wasn't too bad. But the place I got it from, because that's the only place I could find them, charged me $10 for shipping and handling. So it's like $20 for these little wheels that are probably worth like a quarter. Oh yeah, and I think this is an original wheel, and I think that's a replacement wheel. So this thing was an absolute wreck. I had fun repairing it, but I tell you, it costs way more. I've got like $120, don't tell anybody, into this thing. And see, there's the air channel in there. But when I see these in thrift stores in about this kind of shape, maybe even a little worse, I see them for maybe $20 to $30. So I'm what you call upside down severely on this one. Here's a little suction relief right here. I guess really should call it an airflow relief. And of course it's a two-piece, nice metal, so that's in good shape. So, I guess I'll go over the cord rewind. It is a really long cord, and I've completely serviced the cord rewind, so it works pretty well. I'm going to pull that, right, and it's long. It might be like 25 feet, but I don't remember. And then I just push that little button, and it makes a rather pathetic attempt to go in there. There we go. Okay, more or less. And you got a big power switch right here. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get vacuuming. Oh yeah, if I forgot to mention, unmodified in factory condition, you're looking at 43 CFM from the nozzle. All right, for those interested, those are the carpet lines. You don't really see a whole lot. It has some. It's not much. I think it lifts a pile a little bit. It's not anything tremendous, but it's not bad. That's the wind down. So I wanted you to hear that. That's actually normal. For those of you that are wondering, this is a piece of cardboard right here, because otherwise the vent that's right there would just kind of blow cold and hot air on the underside of that dresser. just like with previous canisters that you've seen, long hallway like this, I just kind of pick the canister up and take it with me. Making sure I got enough light. Well, I wonder if this is going to work on this bed with this fairly aggressive brush roll. Well, let's take a peek. If it doesn't work, I will remove it as fast as I can, I suppose. Well, I'd say that's success. I'd say it's all right. So, I mean, I think it grabbed a little bit of this material right here, but it worked. So, I guess I'd recommend it. It was pretty good, even with these stiff bristles. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and finish the rest of the room. Alright, let's try this vent grate, see how it does, and underneath the dresser. Okay, on to the next room. Rosie? You gonna help me out? All right, let's try some tool usage. So I noticed that this seems to be really easy going back and forth on this fabric. And obviously this is the hard floor tool, but you know what? That's kind of nice, really. I think I'll try both of them. That doesn't seem to be bad at all. That's not bad. I kind of like this on this fabric. Might not work in all cases, but it's pushable and you know it's doing work. Let's see, is it picking up fabric? Nope. So this isn't hurting this fabric at all. That's not bad. Let's try this guy. Oh, this works fine too. So they both are pretty good. For some things, I actually like this grip. It's not bad. So it's a nice thing. I mean, other than, you know, holding a whole blob in your hand like this isn't bad. So I guess it really depends on your fabric. You may like this one, you may like this one. I like them both. Okay, here's the most critical part. Seeing if the cord rewind works. Hey, alright, not too bad. Doggy bed number 2. It slows down a little bit. Not too bad. Well, I guess it works alright. So let's see if it picked up anything. Oh, good. Okay, so for this fabric here, which is easier than the one that's upstairs, it's a much shorter pile. This didn't seem to hurt it in any way. Alright, so we have this little more delicate fabric couch here. I wonder, well, it seems to be alright. So I think I'll use the bare floor tool again. You know what? This one here, it's a little hard to push forward. You can get away with it, but I think I'm going to switch over to this. Oh, got so much airflow here, and I'll show you. That corresponds to me doing this. Huh. Look at that. How about that? Alright, that's probably a good enough sample for the couch. Alright, this thing has done several vent grades, no problem, doesn't snag it at all. Alright, got my thin welcome mat, rubber backed. Let's see if this chews it up in any way. No. Low pile rubber back mats, not a problem. So this is what our dog Rosie lays on, and I'm going to put the hard floor tool on here. Normally I would hook up the wands, and I might do that in a minute, but in the interest of time, there is dog hair all over this. It's usually pretty easy to pick up. And I can't say that it's stuck in the bristles at all, so no cleanup required. That worked out pretty well. Alright, now I have the whole thing converted to just straight suction. Alright, usually I can find a little bit of dirt here in the front door from the front mat. I'm sure Rosie will help me find it. TurboPower 5000. Hope you enjoyed it.